Hi, I'm Michelle Fox, and we are going to continue our conversation about personal branding. This is the third video in the series. There's going to be one more after this. Today, I think, is going to be a really fun one. We're going to decide what logo represents you and your personal brand. And you're going to learn that there are more than one way. There is more than one way to express your logo. You will have a sub logo or what's called a favicon. You'll have a horizontal logo, a square logo. So we need to discuss all of that lingo, understand that a little bit, where it comes from, why we need a variety. And then we're going to look at some options to help you start to really drill down on which one you want to choose or which set you want to choose to represent your personal brand. It's a pretty big deal. And don't get caught up in thinking that you have to have it all figured out or that you have to choose the perfect one right away. This will be an ongoing discovery for you. You will choose something and it will be exciting because you will feel like you have a brand. And over time, you'll either love it or you'll tweak it or you'll change it completely. And that's okay. You have to start somewhere. If you decide right now that you are going to look until you find perfection, you will paralyze yourself. So please promise me that you will take this in the manner in which I am offering it. And that is that this is a learning experience. This is a journey. The creative aspect of your personal brand can be a very exciting and it can be rewarding, but it can also turn into a monster if you let it. But we're not going to let it. Okay. So let's first of all talk about what is a logo? Why do we need it? All that good stuff. So we've thought about our colors, what kind of colors go together, how they work together to create or to sort of exude a certain feeling, to pull out a certain emotion from our audience. And we thought, how can that work for us with our brand? Something that I just learned today was that choosing your colors or main color is more than just finding something that you like. And it's more even than finding something that works for your brand. There's also an element of, does it grab people's attention? So I'm going to add that. If I redo that video, I will put that in there. I just heard that from Tanya Eliza today. She said that, you can have a great color and it can be what you love and it can perfectly represent what you sell. But if it doesn't grab people's eye, if it doesn't draw them in, it's not working for you. So that's something to think about, something I'm thinking about. So it's a work in progress, right? So we've talked about colors, and then we talked about fonts, how font pairings can, in a similar way, create a certain feel that there's like a old typeface is going to make you think of things that are very traditional versus something that is very, if it's black and it's heavy, that's going to feel more mod versus something that is very artsy that maybe is script or brush, something hand drawn. So many things to think about, right? But we're going to have fun with this. So now we're talking about logos, which is your symbol, like something that visually represents you. That is another way that people can quickly identify you and your brand. It's probably going to be in the corner of the printed materials that you create. It will be in your banner. It will be what we call a favicon, which when people are on your website, the little picture that shows on the tab that is opened up, that's your favicon. If you look at your bar right now, all the tabs that you have open have little favicons that have a symbol for each website that you have open. So you will have your own. That is also called a sub logo. So we'll create a main logo, an alternate logo. You'll have a favicon or a sub logo, and then also have some options for something that's horizontal versus something that is square. So many options, so little time. So let's put something on the screen so we can start looking at what we're talking about here. So these are the different types of logos that are options. Okay. So when we go to Canva and start looking at logos and choosing one or a set or whatever. These are the different types. So we'll type in logo and we'll see scads and scads of them. And within all of those logos, you'll see a variety of these types. Okay. So the first one is just a word mark where it's just the name of the company, the name of your brand, or your name just written out. Oprah. You can picture how Oprah is written in script. That is her word mark. A letter form is a letter that becomes your trademark. So McDonald's, the golden arches, M would be a great example. Monogram, just like it says, HBO, home box office. I have MF on mine. Let's see, symbol. So we've got the little bird for Twitter. Abstract. Prior to that meaning Nike, it didn't mean anything. So now that represents something, but it used, prior to that, that would be just an abstract design, I guess. Okay, so mascot, the Michelin Man. Emblems are usually in a circle. They can be shields as well, but usually they're kind of intricate. They've got like a color in the background, and there's just a little more detail. We'll get into that in a bit. Combo, kind of self-explanatory, and dynamic is interesting. That I don't know that that's the best example of it, but you know how Google, when there's a holiday, they will change how Google, the word spelled out, so for like Martin Luther King Day, they will change it so that there are different, maybe pictures of him in the O's or something. And other holidays, they will change it so that there are holiday icons mixed in with the traditional Google icon. It is able to change, and yet we still know that it's the Google logo. So a dynamic logo is very powerful in that it's so established that it can change periodically and people still know what it refers back to. So not a lot of people can do that. All right. So a brand board. We've talked about brand boards quite a bit, and I just put this up so that you kind of have a sense of what logos to think about in particular for your personal brand. All right. So if you had someone make a personal brand board for you, or if you created one for yourself, there's typically going to be a main logo, and then there's usually an alternate logo. Here they chose to do a one color logo. So you've got they chose a very colorful one and one that's just one color. Something to think about is you want to make sure that you have at least one logo that's going to work in black and white. Then your submark is something that is small and it usually is just one letter or two letters, but we'll talk more about that. I usually see it in a circle, but a square works just as well. This palette brand board shows another way of breaking that down. So you would have your primary logo. This is the one that you would use the most. This would be in your header, your banner, variant logos. So this is this is more of a square in terms of the space that it takes up. And these are horizontal variations of that. Sometimes in social media, you need something that's going to work in a square, and sometimes you need something that's going to work lengthwise like that. And I think the best thing to compare that to is a Pinterest post or a Instagram story versus an Instagram post, how sometimes they're squares, sometimes they're rectangles, that kind of thing. So depending on the platform that you're on and what it is that you're doing with your logo, you're going to need a variety of sizes and shapes, configurations. You need lots of options. Okay, so creating a brand board. Like we've already discussed, you'll have your logo and different variations of it. And this is a really good article. I'll refer to it in the description of the video. It just kind of explains the reasoning behind having more than one version of it, making sure that you have one that works in black and white. The biggest thing there is that if somebody's going to print something for you, it's a lot cheaper to print in black and white. And so if they will most likely opt for that. And there are some logos that if you do that, you miss a lot of the detail. So you want to make sure you have at least one that works that way. This is an example of a submark, and it says that an easy submark for a logo if you don't have an icon. So this is their logo. And so for the submark, they just used that first letter G. It's kind of stylized. So that became their submark. That's kind of what I did too. And then we're going on to color palette, so we'll skip that. Okay, so now this is the fun stuff. This is on Canva. I think we've been in Canva for every video, canva.com. And if you just type in logo, and you can get more specific than that. So this is the very broad set of logos, templates. These are giving you some ideas. You can change it up. You can change everything about it. This is really a starting point. Some of them, if you hover around the bottom, you can see that it shows you more than one option. And so this one, for example, is showing you one that works well as a square and one that works well horizontally. So that's really nice. You've got two of them figured out. If that's not an option, then you kind of have to find them both yourself. So I kind of like finding something like that because it makes life easier. And they also will show what it looks like on a dark background versus a light background. That's another thing to think about. You can see if there is more than one page by kind of hovering at the bottom. And if nothing happens, then there's only the one page. But if it starts, sliding through, then it shows you the different options. So here's one again that has the horizontal option and then the square option. When you find something that you like and you click on that, it's going to give you other options that are similar. So that is really helpful. But you just want to kind of go through here and find something that appeals to you. I would say in the early stages, just something that appeals to you, period. Okay. Because it is really hard to narrow down your logo forever and ever. So if it just appeals to you, just as you're looking through, you think, that's sharp. I really like that. I keep coming back to that idea. That's a great place to start. Okay. And over time, you might think, it would really make sense for me to have more of an emblem because whatever, but we're not there yet. We're learning. So you don't want to make it more complicated than it has to be. Right now, it's something, whatever grabs your attention is probably going to grab somebody else's attention. Here's an example of an emblem. T-shirt designs usually have an emblem on them. So a coat of arms is an emblem. Let's see. I need to pick one, don't I? I want to find something that has more than one. And then I want to show you how. So this would be a combination one because it has the symbol and then it has the name. I want a good one. So this is a good one to play with. This looks like it's white, but it actually is not. It's more of a dove white. So let's say we want to download these two. This one is sort of the horizontal look, and then this one would be the submark. If we wanted to download it so that it had a transparent background, we would choose download, and then here we would choose transparent PNG, and let's just do one page, make it easier. So we'll download this first page with a transparent background, and we'll know that we did it right because we can upload it right here. Okay, we'll add this page. All right, so we just added it, and whatever shade I decide to make that background, that's going to show up beautifully because what I'm laying on top, this logo that I'm laying on top is, picture a clear sticker, okay, with like letters on it. It's as if we're putting a clear sticker over it, as opposed to if I had downloaded it without requesting it to be transparent. Okay, let's upload this guy. So this is without the transparent background. So if, let's say, you are working with something, a beautiful page, you've got some kind of a PDF that you're creating and it has a pink background and you want to add your logo there, you've got this compared to this. Okay. So that's why in most cases, you're going to need your logo available with that clear background, transparent background. And also, like I said, it's great to have it where you can see what it looks like with a light background with dark letters and then a dark background with light letters, just depending on what you're working with. So many options. This, I was just going to show you some of the things that I've been working with. I have got let's see, what's my original? So this is my, Michelle Fox Online. This is just kind of the horizontal logo that I started out with because for my website, they specified I had to have a logo that was 300 long by 100 wide. So that's what I came up with those measurements. And then I found something else that kind of allowed me to shift it just enough to add my favicon there. So I thought, well, let's see what it looks like with both. So this is what I have on my website now. But generally speaking, this is my long uh, logo, and that is my favicon over here. And then I've just kind of created variations of it, all using the same colors and fonts, but just ever so slightly changing things up just so I have lots of options. And you can do that too. And like I said, I've got my blog colors saved over here so I don't have to wonder what it is or look it up every time. I've got that handy and you can do that as well. That's just creating, let's see. So you go to, all right. So from the home page under tools, there's something called brand. Oh, I guess this is a pro feature as well. And it allows you to put together a brand kit. I'm putting a third one together now. So I've got a kit that has my different logos in there, the colors, the fonts that I use, some variations. So it's very handy. So going back to my brand board that I've referred to a couple different times in this series, I even have written on here that this is called my favicon. Another word for that is sublogo. That the places that I've used it have specified that they wanted it to be 300 by 300 pixels, and it's a square image. This is my signature logo. It is my signature, and it's 300 by 100 pixels, like I told you. Then I also have another version of my submark logo that is a larger version of it that is just basically my square logo. So the favicon in my mind is really the tiny little symbol that shows up when you open up a tab. But the submark can be just about anything. And then I also have another main logo. I don't really use this one so much. I probably need to update that. But that's the one that I started out with. So this is kind of what a brand board is going to include. You'll have a couple different versions of it, plus your favicon, your colors, your fonts. And the next part that we're going to start talking about is your mission statement and your tagline. That is the heart of the matter. What is it that you do? Who do you serve? Basically, what are you all about? And that's a big one. If you're having a hard time finding something that really resonates with you on Canva, there are free logo makers, lots of them. So you would just Google logo maker, free logo maker, logo creator, and you're going to find scads of them. I'll show you an example of one and we'll kind of go through how that works. Frankly, they're not always the prettiest, but it can be fun. Okay, so make a logo with Looka. So let's say I want to call this Michelle Fox Beauty. We need to give them something to go off of. Let's make a logo. All right, pick your industry. Okay, so then I can tell we're in the beauty industry. Continue. And then it asks you to show which ones you like. I'll just quickly pick a couple. That and that and that. All right, that's good enough. And colors that I like, pink, purple, teal. Continue. Enter your company name, which is that. Enter a slogan, real life beauty advice. All right, continue. Some symbols. Okay, let's just choose eyelashes and lipstick. Continue. And they're going to generate logos for me. So And then you can still customize it. So let's say you think, oh, this one's kind of cute. You can continue to customize it. Of course, they're going to want you to sign in because they want your contact information and stuff. But that is just kind of a fun thing to do. Continue as guest. Let me see what all I can do. Ooh, kind of shows you what it would look like on a folder and on somebody's phone. That's kind of cool. And so anyway, so those are fun things to play with. And then another option, of course, we've discussed this before, is going to either Fiverr.com. So this is Fiverr.com. There are lots of people around the world that are ready, willing, and able to create logos for you. And they usually will do it for a very reasonable price. And also Etsy does these types of things. If I were getting a logo designed and paying somebody, I would want a brand board. You're going to pay probably the same amount, but if on a brand board, you're getting it all. You're getting your logo, the colors, the fonts. And, to me, that's just getting a whole lot more bang for my buck. So I would suggest that you request a brand board. So here's the difference. So these are our logos. So you would pay anywhere from $10 to $40 to get just like, just one of these versus a brand board. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Probably still come up. Let's see. So then this is your brand kit for $10 that has, different logos, colors, fonts, symbols, etc. So yeah, to me, that's a much better deal. So again, lots to think about, lots to sort through. It can be fun if you let it be. So just start out asking yourself what resonates with you, because you are your brand. So the things that you gravitate toward are most likely going to represent your brand well. So just trust your instinct and don't overthink it. Don't limit yourself by assuming that it has to be perfection out of the gate. It doesn't, and it won't. You will change your mind. It will, the top of the top people shift and change and morph, and even on purpose change the look of their logo every so often, just to stay fresh, just to stay relevant. So don't put that pressure on yourself. This should be something that really helps you dig a little deeper as to what are you all about. And then the next step, we're going to start talking about your tagline and your purpose statement. And that really gets to the nitty gritty. So I'm excited about this series. I've been getting good feedback. I hope that you're learning a lot. I would love to hear in the comments what you're learning and how you've applied it. If you have specific questions, please ask. I will answer personally each one. And of course, if you have not subscribed yet to Boss Babes Online, I would ask that you like this video, share it with a friend, hit the bell so you're notified of the next one, and subscribe. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. That's the big goal. So I appreciate your help with that. And I will see you in the next video about your tagline and purpose statement. Get excited. We are getting to the end, and you're going to have an entire brand package ready to launch.